Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Wilson, and I'm so happy that today I have the chance to stand over here and representing my company and my partners in here to share our successful story in over 9 months, and which I hope is something it is very good for you to take away. Well, a little bit about Tristate first. Everyone knows Tristate, maybe. But we have 80 years of history in this industry. From 1937, our Honorable Chair Lady, Madam Ku, which is our CEO's mother, found her first business about on ladies' shirts in Shanghai. A few years later, she came to Hong Kong and then set up the very first tailor retail shop which have tailor-made services in Wan Chai. And 2 years later, another shop in Tsim Sha Tsui. So by that time, I think she is really making a good business. And in 1960 something, it's more likely about the garment export and the garment manufacturing in Hong Kong, the boom of economies. By that time, Wen's family also get into this, and they started to build the business with garment manufacturing with export. And we firstly built our first factory with 12 floors in Hong Kong, Kwai Chung, and which this is our headquarters nowadays. And in 1980s, our chairman and CEO, Mr. Peter Wen, founded his first factory in Thailand called Hua Thai. At that moment, he's really get into this industry. And then in 1999, Hua Fu has been acquired Tristate, and then at this time, Hua Thai, Hua Fu, and Tristate, they combine it as one company, Tristate, as of today. So with all these years of history, we have built 8 factories nowadays in China, in Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, and Myanmar. Also, we have got 10,000 employees all over the world. And with our sales office, sourcing office, and our branding office, and also our design center, we are present in 11 countries. We've got 4 brands, so I will talk a little bit later on this. Annual turnover about USD 300 million. Well, I think we can go furthermore. What are we making? I think some of you may know what actually Tristate doing. We are very strong at doing outerwear, no matter it's functional or it is fashionate. And of course, we are very strong at doing lady shirting, so all this down jacket, wool coat, trench coat, blazer, and also the stuff with seam tab, with very difficult garment wash, garment dye, and all these things, we can handle it well. So our brands, well, we have got 4 own proprietary brands like CP Company, EFM, Saison, and Husky. And we've got one motto that is called building brands through innovation. In Tristate, we believe in innovation that from 3 aspects. The first thing is about design. The second thing is about material. The third thing is about construction. All these things are very, very important elements for a single garment, and which we think that, and we believe that through the innovation on all these 3 aspects, it will bring us to a very good result, terrified results on providing a very strong foundation on building brands, just like building EFM, and giving us with a very strong foundation to acquire CP Company. We also believe that with all this innovation, we can benefit our customers. Of course, eventually it is about sustainability, because we cannot always squeezing our costs, squeezing here, squeezing there, but the true cost, the true savings, the true sustainability is about we are trying to make things smarter, faster, and cheaper. Oh yes, a little bit about myself. Well, again, I'm Wilson, BPM Manager, Business and Planning Management Manager in this company, leading a team of 5 business analysts in the group, and which a very special unit in this company, which 5 young people directly report to the management. So what we are doing, what are we usually doing? Well, for all the data analysis, FP&A, financial planning and analysis, some operational analysis, costing analysis, mainly these 4 things, and a little bit corporate communication as well. Of course, there are a lot of sales talk I have to do as well sometimes. So this is a very, very interesting team of 5 with youngest, and we believe that the youngest are the future, and our management do believe. So that's why I have the chance to stand in here. I love music, so I don't mind if you guys come over and talk about music with me, except talk about fashion. I love hiking, marathon, football, and all these things. So come to me to talk about football. I'm sure that you will get some insight, except I'm talking about my company. Okay, anyway, I have to get back to how Tristate gained 1.3 top line benefit using AI, big data, and all the analytics. Well, this is a statement that I think everyone gets very bored, but the truth is, it is the truth. It is changing very fast, very rapid pace, and the cost and all this stuff, competition are very keen. So 2 choices, just like taking a penalty, score or not. So it's just like win or not. We have to be a winner, so we have to adopt with all this pace and all this cost. And usually, if we really want to make some changes, revolution, well, sorry that there must be a lot of losers. But we became a winner since 80 years ago until now. So we pushed our top line by 1.3%. Well, it is the figures based on the last 9 months. So if I come here and speak again in next year, I guarantee it will be more than that. But how? So a lot of things we are looking into to see how to really improve our process, improve our products, and improve our manufacturing setup. So about new technologies, this is something I'm very interested in. But you know, if we are just taking the solution, taking the approach as usual, repeating, in the end we're just getting the same result as everyone, which I think no one wants to be. Therefore, we have to really look into the solution technologies that really can benefit to make gains which they're different. 3 things we are looking into it: AI, big data, and IoT-based mobility. So why are we looking into all this? Let's talk about AI first. So AI is basically can deliver lots of results that humans do with a faster speed. And they can learn even better than human. So, well, I think everyone here is actually understand a very sad but true story is that most of the time we are making the decision with, let's say, talking about 5 to 10 parties, 5 to 10 people in the company for a single decision. But usually, there's talking about 80% of them are actually useless. So through AI, with the numbers, we can reduce the headcount of people on making decisions. I have to emphasize that we are not reducing the headcount, but we are reducing the headcount on decision because we should release them to taking care of some other things, but not something that the system can do, the AI can do. Also, AI gets smarter through deep learning, and then eventually with all this calculation, it will be only getting faster than what humans do. So with no doubt, AI is a very ideal solution and system we should have to look into. Well, it comes to big data. Also, we in doing the daily operation of a factory, it got a lot of data points, and it can be on papers, on Excel, on PDF, or maybe in a bundle of slips. And it is very difficult to analyze the data because they are not on on a proper platform, proper data format, and they are not organized. And which I think for all the manufacturers, you will have the same feeling. And just a small story that I want to share with you is about sample making. Do you know how expensive to really make a sample in a sample making room? Well, just the figure about Tristate is talking about at least 200 USD dollar. What are the methodology and the costing we have to do behind? 2 years before, we want to see if there's any improvement for our sample making room. We investigate in that, and then, okay, how to find out the true cost. So my CFO say, do an ABC. What's ABC? Activity-based costing. Oh my God. We are going to do an ABC study on the sample making room. So what do we have to do? We have to define 5 stages of sample making, and on each stage, they have like 4 to 5 standard operation. And with that time, from the day 1 of the project, they have to fill in a timesheet for us. So from 8 o'clock till the end of the day, everyone in the sample making room has to fill in what they have to do within the standard operation and with the time. And then, so everyone will be very interested about, so how do I analyze this? The very painful lesson is that we made this happen through Excel. And yes, Excel. And then it's talking about 3 of the business analysts sitting in the office at mid of night at maybe 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And then we are just still waiting for the reports or waiting for the calculation after a single click on the pivot table. It was clearing. So the next phase we are looking into is all about big data and with a proper solution that they can really deliver the intelligence, the reports that we need. Yeah. So the other thing is about mobile, tablet and mobile, IoT. Well, we have to admire that 3 years ago, we want to introduce mobile and tablet within our factory, but eventually we didn't. 3 years ago, we didn't. But we have to, in 2017, we found that it is no use to stop it because every workers, every seafood, or every merchandiser in the factory is using their mobile. And sometimes when they are really free, they are actually doing Taobao and Tmall with their phone. So actually, they are using mobile better than us, if you ask me, sometimes. So we put down all the myth of, oh, it will lead to a very bad discipline issue on using the mobile and stuff. And we start to look into mobile solution. So it's very important that it is mobile first for the data consumption and capturing. As a business analyst, I always ask myself a question is that, where's the data point? So it's very important for us to know when and where and how did the data come from. So just like if you are taking like a daily output report and then, oh, it's talking about receiving it at 6 p.m., but actually this data is taken from 8 a.m. So can we ensure that all this data are taken in a timely manner? Are they accurate? Are the method is good enough? No one can guarantee. Even you are getting a big team of lean guy and then just check around with all their works, I think it doesn't give you a very, very concrete answer. It is a correct one. So we look into mobile. What it means to us is that you have the mobile and you are getting connected with the system, so you can do your thing at any time. Just tell the system what you are doing at that moment. And that is good enough because the other things is about analysis and about AI. So all these 3 areas are we looking into for our further investment. So where do we need this tech? I talk a lot about sample making, but eventually we found that this is not a right investment because eventually the cost is not huge enough. And then of course we can take this in our production floor. Well, so are we talking about making on workers, applying all these things to replace workers? Simply no, because when we are doing the very heavy duty garments with all this very fancy trench coat or wool coat or down jacket, we still need skillful workers and we still need very skillful leaders on the floor. The only way we can take it as a very quick success is on fabrication. So we look into the fabric cost is always very high. Well, just some range and some numbers for FYI. Usually our programs, our fabrics, the fabric cost is talking about USD $10 to $25 per meter or per yard. So it is very expensive. We have to take extra caution on this and be very careful to using that. And it is very tough for us to leave the comfortable, available comfort zone, which we were in. So we have to ask ourselves, what did we see? And what's our vision? And if we are saying that we are innovative, we are building our companies, building our DNA, all these things based on innovation, we have to take some move. So we have to look into all this technology without any choices. Well, eventually we found our partner, ThreadSol's. Well, I would like to take this opportunity to say a big thanks to my partners, and actually they are doing quite well and full support to us because it makes the projects work in 9 months. We started this journey with ThreadSol's in July 2017. Actually, it should be like the end of June after I met the CEO. We met in the office and then we used a paper and pencil, draw some diagrams and talk about the algorithm and all these things, and then, okay, that's what we need. And then we just go ahead on this. That was a fun chat, but well, a little bit sidetracked. So if you want to understand that story, you can just come to me afterwards. We did a test project in our Philippines factory. Well, a little bit different from most of the manufacturers in Hong Kong. We tried to take a pilot test in Philippines, but not China or Vietnam. Well, frankly, because Philippines by the time with my forecast, they are losing money. So I have to save them first. That's all. Well, eventually they're making money. Yeah. That was a big success because, well, by that time in the first half forecast, we expecting Philippines to be losing money for a certain amount. And with using all these technologies, eventually it makes not even break even. It is talking about a few $100,000 USD in the bottom line. So in the last 9 months, we implemented ThreadSol's solution across 4 factories in Philippines, in Vietnam, and 2 in China. So in plant, we are going to implement in 2 more actually it's 3 more factories in 2 more countries. The 1 in Myanmar and then the 2 in Thailand. So now, Tristate, I can claim that fabric planning is fully powered by AI, big data, and IoT mobility. Well, because for what actually the floor happens, input by the tablet, keep this data, and then to make our suggestions and do the analytics, and then giving the reports and intelligence to our management for AI and big data. So what did they do? This is a very simple procedure that before we are using that, what we usually happen, create a cut plan and leg plan, and then spread the fabric on the floor, use as many MBs as possible, and then make the reports. Excel, manual, actually there's manual reports, which is talking about manual written. And then now with all this technologies, we can just do an automated cut plan, and then with this IoT services and solution, and then we can get a real-time fabric. And hence, it takes us to the step 3. Just like you are driving with a GPS. The GPS keeps telling you, oh, 2 more road or 2 more minutes, you will get stuck because of the current traffic situation. And actually the same thing in here. When we cut the fabric, we found that, oh, there's some defects at the end, there's something more MBs than expected, so we've got our MBs over there. So the system will just tell us, okay, don't take the row 88, take the row number 1 then. So with all this auto assignment in the whole in the whole planning, it makes us really saving a lot of fabrics. And of course, a very real-time reporting on IoT. So I can just sit in the office and get all the numbers I want. So yeah, this is just talking about how manual cut plan have to do. The ratio planning by expert, lots of try and errors by Excel or by the calculators with the expert Sifu to make sure that the marker ratios and the markers and all these things makes or looks like reasonable. This is an hour work with a very experienced expertise. I'm sure that if I'm the one going to sit in there and do the planning, 2 or 3 hours without any tools. And today, 2 minutes. Well, if the network is a little bit lag on that day on Vietnam, it may talk about 3 minutes. But yes, we are speeding up from hours to minutes. And the AI system actually doing repeating things, just like looking into million combination, and with what they have done before, they learned before, and then they've just found the best ratio. And then to assign the role, which role are we going to cut and use? This is very important. And yeah, AI driven. So where's the manager gone? He can go into the cut floor to really to take care of what actually happened with the tangible goods, but not the intangible goods, the numbers, the papers, and the planning. And then, well, just some process. Maybe I just quickly go through on this. We set the marker pen to the floor with, and then just send it to the tablet, late plan, and the AI will just keep on planning with the data. We just feedback, just like what I mentioned just now. The key thing is we are not only speeding up the whole process, but we are reducing all the errors. Just one thing I would like to add is that, well, because we are working with all the premium brands and we are using a lot of expensive fabrication, and it means that there's a lot of IP on the fabrication, just like the brand starting with B and with their very famous checkers. We have to do very good protection over there, or else we're in a deep trouble. So before we have to do in all these cut plans, we have to identify each row of the fabric. And therefore, with this system, with the MBs being traced, the fabric is purely traceable. Therefore, I can claim to our customer that we have given you a very good protection over there. Finally, very important, all the management is traveling a lot, and they spend the time in the plane and launch in airport is more than their office. So it's very important that the things can be happen and be seen on the screen of phone. So yeah, everyone can just sit in the lounge, the bar, Starbucks, or even office to see what's happening in all over the factories. Of course, the very utilization, ROI, compliance scorecard, opportunity loss, and all these things. Very convenient if you ask me. So what was the result? I think if we talk about the time issue, everyone knows it. And more important is that we have a very complete fabric control. and which we can help except saving the material costs, giving the protection. It's more about to let the workers feel that, okay, we are moving on. We are not just like the old days, the MBs on the floor. It's just Chinese saying, 跌咗落地就係錢. And we are just getting back all this money from the floor and put it on the rack, and with a traceable record. So if, from a FD&A point of view, sorry, there are a little bit financial stuff, the ROI are expected, and so that when we are going to make the next purchase or making the next negotiation on all the costings, we have a lot of data behind. Well, another result is that we indeed 1.3 more garments delivered in the past 9 months. So this is a very good result, the big top line for our factories. So obviously, the vision with the action, we have bring a very terrified result on applying AI, big data, mobile solution. What's going next? Well, the real cost is not only about how to cut the fabric and how to control the fabric, but also how to purchase. So it's actually, if you find that fabric purchase is a little bit of repeat, and it talks a lot of repeating styles and all the use day, wastage, and all are they actually statistics. And with all these numbers, AI can take a big role in this game, so that we can reduce our costing manager, our merchandiser, a lot of time of work. Of course, we can reduce our fabric expenses. So not only the top line, but also the bottom line, we really can enjoy the benefits. So in present, we have to create a cut plan, send to CAD, get consumption, and then add some buffer, especially on the wastage. And now we can just do it all through the AI, and which this is the same as we are using the cut part. Yeah, I would just say I really urge everyone here, or I encourage everyone here to really look into AI, big data, and IoT-based mobility solution, because, well, everyone in this industry has been very painfully survive or painfully to compete with each other in this very keen competition by squeezing their own costs. But somehow we have to think of some ways that we can do it better and smarter. These are the ways and solutions which I encourage everyone to look into it. So thank you. Reach me through here, or just come to me and I will just give you my name card. And of course, it is my pleasure to talk to everyone after the stage. Well, I think I still have 11 minutes, right? So it'll be good if there's any question from you all. I will try my best to answer.
Yeah. In your presentation, you talked about AI replacing your managers' abilities in the organization. Can you put some light on it?
Sure. Well, I have to clarify that we are not replacing the manager, because we are reorganizing his work or her work. Just like if he has to or she has to take place for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours of the planning work, nowadays, through this solution, actually they do not need to do the planning work, but they can go into the cutting floor and look after their staffs and see what exactly happened on the cut plan. And they can put on the focus on doing the maintenance. They can put on the focusing on how to enhance with the equipment, or actually very important to do the team building. If you ask me, if the manager is fully loaded with all the routine work, he or she cannot get any chance to take care of his team and then to build his team. It's more on releasing his time to do something more value add, if you ask me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.